Hey guys, so welcome to another video. Today we have with us the Creative SXFI Carrier, a soundbar and subwoofer setup that's able to fill your entire room with great audio quality without having to have extra speakers and wires connecting all of them. So this is a very convenient solution, especially if you live in a small HDB house or if you simply want to have a minimalistic setup. So this sound system was kindly sent to me by Creative, so a big thank you to them for sending this out for this review. If you guys want to know more about it, I'll leave the links in the description below and you guys can go check it out for yourself. So we're going to go through a couple of things today. We're going to see what this soundbar has to offer. We're going to see how easy it is to install and set up. We're going to go through some of its features and specs. And lastly, what I really feel about this soundbar and if it's worth buying. So first of all, this soundbar is a successor to the very famous Sonic Carrier, also known as one of the best soundbars on the market. It has the same sound signature but at half the size and a fraction of the cost. This 5.1.2 soundbar was jointly developed by Creative and Dolby Laboratories, which means it supports Dolby Atmos. It comes with a soundbar and a massive 10-inch wireless subwoofer, which lets you easily position it at your preferred location. It is also very compatible with the Super SXFI Theater headphones for a more personalized sound experience. This setup is a convenient way to transform any room into a theater by filling the room with surround sound, making it so much more enjoyable to watch your favorite media content, especially streaming services that support Dolby Atmos such as Netflix, Apple TV and Prime Video. So the SXFI Carrier comes in at $1,500 and it's somewhat a middle ground between the Sonic Carrier at $8,000 and the Stage V2 at $150. You get the same sound signature as the Sonic Carrier but at a more affordable price. Now buying an $8,000 sound system and a $1,500 sound system, there's definitely going to be some differences and something that's lacking, but I don't have the two products with me today so I can't really compare them, but you're paying for what you get and I think this middle ground is something that average people would really appreciate and I think it's a really good system at this price point. Now right out of the box there wasn't any need to program or set it up. The only connections were the power and the HDMI cable to the TV. The subwoofer, being wireless, only needed a power source and was automatically connected to the soundbar when we turned on the system. Now I do appreciate that subwoofer was wireless. That decluttered that space a lot and gave me a bit more flexibility in where I wanted to place this subwoofer. Now setting this up in your home, there's two main ways. Now the first one would be of course to just place it on a TV console like I did, which is very neat and tidy. I mean, there's only one actual cable that you need to hide, which is the HDMI cable leading up to the TV. Other than that, the power cable goes down to the ground, so it's a very neat setup. The other way that you can mount it is onto the wall with these mounting brackets, but I did find that this was a bit of a weird way to mount it, mainly because the top speakers were blocked by the TV. No matter how flush your TV was to the wall, it was still going to block a bit of the sound. Now this seemed kind of suboptimal to me, but I might be wrong of how to install this, but then again at least the option is there. Now before we move on, here are some technical specs for you guys. The soundbar comes in at 880mm long by 128mm deep and 76mm high, which is a pretty compact form factor for a soundbar. The subwoofer is 225mm thick by 430mm deep and 450mm high with a hefty weight of almost 13 kilograms. Alright, so let's talk about the many different ways you can connect your devices to this soundbar. Now, first of all, HDMI, which is the most easiest and simplest way that you can connect the soundbar to your television. So like I said earlier, when you connect the soundbar via HDMI to your television, you can use the TV's remote to control one volume level, which is an incredible convenience because I used to have an old soundbar which required its own remote, and that was just really confusing to figure out which volume was higher or lower, and it was just way too messy to have two remotes and two volumes. So the next means of connection is via USB. There is a USB-C port that allows you to connect your devices such as your PC or your laptops to the sound system. There's also an SXFI port which allows you to connect it to the Super SXFI headphones. So these are really great headphones that gives you that theater sound, you know, if you want a more personalized sound, not disturbing others, and you just want to watch movies on your own. So these were also sent to me by Creative, so a big thank you. And they honestly sound great and connected very seamlessly using this Bluetooth dongle. Now lastly, one of my favorite ways to connect it is of course via Bluetooth 5.0. Now I mean, what device doesn't have Bluetooth these days? And just playing music from your phone is the simplest way to enjoy this soundbar and this new sound system in your home. So here we go, my overall experience of this soundbar and my honest review. Now firstly, I was surprised that a single source like a soundbar was able to fill up a room. Now of course, to fill up an entire room you need your volume to be at a certain level. For me, I think it was at volume 16, but it might differ from different contents and different TVs. But like I said, it needs to be at a certain volume for it to really have that audio effect that fills up an entire room. So this was a very surprising experience for me, because I was used to having, you know, speakers that were wired and were going behind me, and of course I know those work. But for a soundbar such as this that is able to project sound all around the room, it's very interesting, and I think it's really worth that money that you're paying for. And it's also really elegant. I mean, it's just a simple soundbar, and your subwoofer, since it's wireless, you can hide it somewhere and, you know, position it where you want to. And it's overall a pretty cool system to have in your home. Now the other thing is of course the connection, which I found extremely seamless. Now I'm not saying this because they sent me this, but honestly when I was setting it up I thought I needed to program it or, you know, do some kind of wiring, but it's honestly just HDMI to HDMI and the whole thing just worked, and it was extremely easy to use. So no fuss, no muss. I think anyone is able to operate this system very easily. So for anyone who's looking to get this system, do check out more details on the website for yourself. They have all the specs listed out there, and also do check it out in the store if it's possible. I mean, listen to it for yourself and experience it, and if it's something that suits you, go ahead and get it. But this has been my honest recommendation and honest review of this product. I think $1,500 for a soundbar and subwoofer isn't a bad or isn't too expensive for this case. I wouldn't spend anything above $2,000 or $3,000 for a home sound system, but honestly I think this is good enough. I think a lot of people really appreciate this option that Creative has done. So a big thank you again to Creative for sending this out to me. I'm really going to enjoy this in my home. I've actually been listening to audio from my TV, so this is a great change, and if anybody doesn't have some form of a sound system, it really matters and it really changes up the whole experience of watching movies. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, leave in the descriptions below. I'll try my best to answer them, but if not, head over to the Creative website to find out more. Like this video if you like this, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.